Welcome back, you guys. I need to clean my whole house. I'm trying here to show you how dirty my front window is, and I feel like it's just not shining through the way it should. But don't worry, later you get a glimpse and it looks like somebody opened the door using their mouth and nose. I don't understand it. But anyways, hi, welcome back. We're doing this. We did a major whole house clean when I was like Old Beth, and it took me 7.5 hours. Then we did a few things that I didn't want to do on Monday. And today I am in a pinch. I'm in a pinch. I have 2 hours and I want to reset all of my main living space. And I need to get this stuff done. I had a lot of errands that I ran this morning. And then my cats are just tearing through it. They're butts. Just everybody your butts. Butts, butts, butts. I had a lot of stuff that I had to do this morning, and then I have a little bit of time to get this done. And then I have plans this evening with friends, which I love for me. That doesn't happen very often. So let's rush. Let's get as much done as we humanly can. And we'll get a little bit of encouragement from the Kesha Doobeans. Hi, Doobeans. All right. We're going to start in my favorite location, the kitchen, doing the dishes so that the dishwasher can wash dishes whilst I do other things. That's just what I like to do. Leave me alone about it. Okay, so this morning I woke up extra early. Living my life of hard knocks, I woke up extra early at the bright hour of like 7:15, 7:20. And I knew I needed to go get my nails done. The nail person I deeply love, she's amazing. She's going on vacation for a couple weeks. And I was like in this weird limbo so I have acrylic nails and you're supposed to get them done about every 2 weeks. I love to get them done like every 3 weeks. I like to make it where it's annoying how long my nails are and that they look really absolutely disgusting. So it was just like I had them done recently, but by the time she got back from her trip, she's going to both Mexico and Japan, which sounds amazing and really exhausting. That sounds really exhausting, right? Like 2 massive trips like that. And it's not like, oh, she's backpacking through Europe, because Europe, like everybody's touching each other. It's basically like being in part of the United States. Like it's like strolling around the Northeast, or like, let's go see what the Pacific Northwest has for us. It's just not big. I'm sorry, you guys, it's not that big. But like Mexico in itself is a big country. Let's give it that. But it's over here with us. It's oh my God, I was going to say butt buddy. That is the worst phrasing of it. Okay. Canada's our hat, but Mexico, I don't want Mexico to be our pants. And it feels rude to say our shoes. So I'm going to say, I can't. There's nothing clever coming out. Oh my God, you guys, the pressure is so real. I have nothing cute to say about Mexico being I'm thinking of a satchel. Like if you wore a really kind of a bulky bag, think boho, and it's kind of down by your hip and you put all of your stuff that you want to take with you places. But that's too much. I'm not going to say that about Mexico every time. Canada's our hat. Mexico, oh, that cute boho satchel that kind of hangs down by your hip and has all your stuff. No, that's too much stuff. So Mexico is our kind of like our sexy stockings that we put on, even if you're dudes, maybe you guys have some. I'm not here to judge, except for I love judging. I'm here to judge, but I won't say it to you in this moment on this video, but we'll check back in with me next week and I might feel a little judgy about that. So she's going to our sexy stockings and then over to Japan, which, in case you don't know, is a different country in a different part of the world. It's in Asia. Shocking. But we do share the Ring of Fire, which is like, you guys probably know this, but if you don't, like, what if you don't live in the Pacific Northwest and or Alaska and or Japan? So maybe you don't know the Ring of Fire. It's this massive volcanic ring, if you will. It's not even a ring. It's like an oval. It's the volcano. So that's why California has so many volcanoes going up itself. Like Starts kind of at like the belly of California. It goes up, it goes into Oregon, Washington. I'm sure Canada stole a few of our volcanoes, which is rude. Canada, what's wrong with you? Over into Alaska, but it loops back over and it's Japan and also Hawaii. So all of those volcanoes, and it's not all volcanoes because Iceland, for example, not in the Ring of Fire, but full of fire and volcano-ness. Like it loves erupting all of the time. So, and then it has the fault line. I wasn't going to talk about this. Do you guys want to talk about something that I find really interesting that I may have talked about before, but I don't care because what if you don't watch that video? Yeah, let's do that. And then we can loop back to whatever the heck I was talking about before I started talking about Mexico being our sexy stockings and the Ring of Fire. So let's get comfortable. I got comfortable. Okay. So we have the San Andreas Fault and like the Pacific Fault Line, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's like called Mega Everybody's Gonna Die Fault Line, right? And it goes up the Pacific coast and kind of Alaska and all that. And yes, I know Canada also has a Pacific coast. But that's why we have so many volcanoes and all of that jazz. So forever ago, but not as long ago as you would think, like you would be like, no, that's way too recent. But like in the 80s, they did not know about this fault line really. And they were just like, no, it's fine. Nobody wrote down that this happened. I know I've told you guys this story, but please just bear with me. Pretend I'm like old and I have dementia and you're like, sure, grandma, just listen to my grandma's story again. It's fine. So they were like, nobody really wrote down that there were like earthquakes here. So clearly there aren't because like if a white man didn't write it, is it true? And so then one day somebody was like, you know what? Hey guys, we have like still a butt ton of Native Americans, but like comparatively speaking to prior, very few, but let's just pretend it's a lot. And so they're like, why don't we ask them literally anything about this? And it turns out they did have a few tribes and they had a story and I'm so sorry. I'm going to ruin it. I'm sorry. I glanced at a Wikipedia article. Okay, guys? Like I didn't deep dive, but something along the lines of two gods were fighting. One was an eagle and one was like a whale, maybe, or maybe some sort of serpent. But the eagle picked up the whale/serpent, probably a dragon, and dropped it in the ocean. And it caused a vast shaking of the earth because, when gods fight, like it happens, right? Things get dicey out there. And so they had that story where that had happened and it shook, right? Well, then they went over to Japan and they were just like, hey, besties, you would think that they would be like, okay, pretty white and wrote things down. You would think that they'd be like, let's take into account. But I think because they didn't write it down in English, we're still kind of like made up. But they were like, do you have any made up stories that were clearly not true? And they're like, we do. And it was like a day of sadness or something like that. Somebody got upset and a huge tsunami came and ruined everybody, right? And they were like, oh no, these two storylines kind of line up, historically speaking, on when they think it happened. It could have been an earthquake that caused a massive tsunami into Japan. And it was. And that's how they were like, oh, crap, Weasel. Massive fault lines along here. It's going to be catastrophic. So many homes and schools in the Oregon coast. They were like, we can't build any more schools past this point because everybody's going to die when it happens. And they're like, but I mean, the schools we have, like, we're just going to roll the dice with those. So those kids, if you're in an old school, you're a sacrifice. That's fine. But like when the earthquake happens, it is going to flood halfway into the state. It's I-5. It's a massive interstate that goes through from Mexico to Canada, actually, from stockings to hats. It goes through. It's about halfway into the state. If you divide it in half, if you cut it in half like it was an equal birthday cake, that's I-5 lengthwise. And all of those people are going to die. Also, most of the buildings aren't ready for it because like it was the 80s. After the 80s, sure, they're built for really massive earthquakes, but this one not so much. So anyways, long story short, maybe ask people questions even though they're not white. The end. I don't know. What a weird pivot. You guys are so weird. Why do you do that? I don't know why you guys behave the way you behave. All right. So also, weird pivot, but I did wash my knives. How long are knives good for? Is it for forever? Because these are getting a little battered and we like privately sharpen them. Please respect our privacy at this time. We privately sharpen our knives, but we never have professionally had them sharpened, but they kind of suck really badly. Do we get them professionally sharpened or are they like nicked up enough to where you just, after 16 years, maybe get a new set of knives? Where do we land on that? Okay. So I am not perfection cleaning. I am just like scramble cleaning because I wanted to get this done, trying to still new bath. I'm actually new bathing a little too hard, I think. Like another whole house, like I did things I didn't want to do and then a whole house clean. That's way too much new bath. We should like sprinkle in some neglect in here, like personal neglect, not neglecting the kids. But I did have a hard week after the doing everything I didn't want to do Monday, doing like, let's be honest, 3 things I didn't want to do, not even everything. I had a hard time moving, like getting up, doing anything. I was really, really tired, lethargic, beat down. I wasn't sick. I just have been behind on getting my testosterone shots. And so I was 2 weeks behind and it makes such a huge difference. So I picked them up yesterday and my husband gave me my testosterone shot last night. And yeah, I have so much. I totally can run a bunch of errands in the morning and then go clean my house and then go out to dinner. Like it's so crazy how amazing a tiny bit of testosterone feels. All right, okay, first of all, we have wasps living inside the wall. I was checking, I saw one go in. I knew it. Now, if you look kind of where my shirt is black, it does look like a little mouth print right there. Oh, I wish you guys could see it, but it does look like somebody smushed their mouth and nose against that window. Why are my kids are old enough that that's not a thing anymore, but they're still doing it. But it's hot and gross. It's so Georgia outside, just so you know. I was not thriving. But every time I looked out my front window, it was so absolutely disgusting. I couldn't handle it anymore. And I was like, okay, let's get this part done. Let's whole house this. And here's where I was like, I have all the time in the world. 2 hours is basically 70 hours. And I can just dink around and do whatever I want. Like break down this box. I am glad that box and like maybe one other box. No, it was just that box, but it makes another appearance because I only set it on my kitchen counter. I didn't actually do anything with it. They went into the recycling. We are not restocking Box Mountain yet. I love that for me. And then I have some sort of project. One of my kids is doing a project that I did not know about, nor do I understand right there. Let's leave it alone. Like I am not here to ruin science or arts. It's a little bit of art and a little bit of science, I think. I think she made paper flowers and was dyeing them with food coloring. And I love that. One of my favorite things about being a mom of a slightly older kid, of a couple slightly older kids, is that they do random stuff like that. And I'm not participating and I'm not paying attention. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I got this craft kit, then put it all together and it was really amazing. And you're just like, oh, proud of you, sweetheart. All right. I have a lot of fuzz. Like I swept and I know that I'm trying to get things done in a short amount of time, but the fuzz, here's what I think it is. The undercoat of Sweet Potato, my long-haired cat, I feel like that's where it's coming from. It doesn't look like any other pet's pet hair. And sometimes when I pick her up and I pet her, she's got floofies of little hair coming out. And I just think she has a lot of undercoat that sheds out and goes everywhere. So I should probably get a brush and start brushing her, but she doesn't love that. I've tried a couple times and she's like, ugh, gross. I'm feral. And she was feral. That's probably why the universe gave her to me. All right, I do see here, I really do in the camera, how sloppy I am, and I'm not getting it close enough to those doorways, but I did not see it. It's hard to see in real life where I'm like what's really mopped and what's not. And then when I walked to go get more water onto the mop head and rinse it out, the space in front of my son's door dried really well. So I was like, did I just never dry it? So I went and did it again and still missed those spots. So you're welcome. All right. So what I was saying was my nail lady, she's going to go on amazing trips, and that seems exhausting. And it just was terribly timed to where I was like, okay, I'm just going to get my nails done today before she leaves. And that way I have the best chance of not mashing or breaking a nail while she's gone. And we'll see how that goes. So I did that. Also, my nails would have been too grown out. Next week, I swear this is all part of the same story, like all my stories. But they go sideways, but I come back or we both forget that I was ever talking about it. And that works for me. So this next week, I am going to New York City to go to a Google YouTube event. And I'm really excited about it. It's supposed to have one-on-one FaceTime with brands. And I have an idea of which one brand, but I don't know. It's a shopping thing, not a brand. I don't know what's happening. I'm just excited to be invited. I love that I'm going to be a part of something like this. I don't know if it's worth it, but it is worth it because it strokes my ego so much that I feel like I'm special enough to be invited by Google somewhere where they're like, hey, you're a YouTuber. Do you want to do something? And I was like, 100% I want to do that. So I'm incredibly excited about that. I wanted to have nice nails because you know how you want to feel cute before you do something. And then also I'm like, clearly I need to make a really solid first impression with these brands. Like they need to fall in love with me in person. So when they do come to my channel and see what an absolute shit show I am, they'll be like, but wait, she was amazing in person. We'll still work with her. I'm just excited about it. I really am. So that should be incredibly fun for me and also a little bit of a vacation. Anytime you get to be in a hotel by yourself, that's a vacation. I don't care that it's for work. I'm going to be by myself. Nobody's going to ask me for anything. Glorious. Cannot wait. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And part of the reason why I wanted to get my nails done. So I look presentable so that everybody thinks I am a really good person and that they super want to pay me so that I can talk about their stuff on my YouTube. I just want to get all of the money because that's the best way to launch yourself into a dictatorship. You don't see poor idiots becoming dictators. Wait, let's think. Do we see any poor idiots? Do you guys have reference of that? I feel like in general, you typically are super wealthy and that's why you have the connections and then you just take it over. So yeah, I have to stack, what do they call them? Stack racks, stacks. I need to hoard cash like a freaking dragon, which by the way, I've decided are real. I decided that dragons were real. We just haven't found their skeletons yet, their fossils. But you know what? It took us a really long time to find dinosaurs, and those are probably real, maybe. I don't know. So, and then I think maybe dragons evolved into bats. And I was telling my husband about that. I'm like, listen, I think dragons were real because I've decided to believe all conspiracy theories that I feel like believing and also other unhinged things as I think them up. And I was like, I think dragons were real. That's why they're so prevalent in our myths. Like, I think that they were real. And then now they just evolved into bats, like how dinosaurs were huge and interesting. And now they're just like chickens, which is a pretty huge bummer. And if you're like, and also alligators. No, alligators were alligators back then. Alligators are alligators now. They'll be alligators 5,000 years from now. They were alligators. They just happened to be around the dinosaur chickens. And so now they're chickens and all the rest of the birds. So dragons are now bats. And he's like, okay, so they evolved into being mammals, which really made me mad. And I didn't want to talk to him anymore because yeah, dragons have eggs, but maybe they didn't. Maybe people got confused because they weren't getting super close to the dragons, right? At least not living to tale the tale. So maybe there weren't dragon eggs, or also there are platypuses. Those are mammals that have eggs, Mark. I swear to God. Like, let me have this. What? So Mark and I are getting a divorce, and I'm putting that in the paperwork 100%. So yeah, why am I talking about dragons, you guys? Like, how did I go from getting my nails done, going on a trip to dragons? Because I know I need to finish out my stories. Uh, I don't. So after my nails, I had a little bit of time because I order from Azure Standard, which is like a co-op-y purchase all of your home steady stuff. Still not sure how dragons came into play. And so I needed to pick that up. So what happens is you do like bulk orders and you can get a lot of different pantry items. You can get frozen items. You can get canning items. It's just very homesteadery, if you will, and reasonably priced. I mean, you have to buy a ton of crap. Like you could buy 20 pounds of flour, but it's cheaper flour, especially if you're like an organic person. It's where I get all of my butter, and I get my butter by like the box full. So I'm buying $200 worth of butter, but I'm rarely buying butter. So the only thing I needed to get this time was 5 pounds of organic chocolate chips. And my kids kept being like, when are we getting chocolate chips? But I didn't need anything else. But whatever, I bit the bullet. I bought the chocolate chips, and everything comes on a big semi truck. And you meet the semi truck at your pickup drop off point, and then everybody together unpacks the truck. Sometimes they are able to put the pallet on the ground, and we go through the pallet and we distribute by last name. But this guy didn't. So we had to like line up and ask for his blessings from the back of the truck. We're like, please, sir, hand me the mangoes. They had mangoes this time. I didn't get any. And so then you stack it by everybody's name. And then he goes to the refrigerated portion and you get all the refrigerated goods, and then everybody distributes. And then you're able to go to your name and take your stuff with you. And sure, you could kind of be a jerk because I got my personal chocolate chips to me. It was a second package I grabbed, and I could have been like, yes, and then bailed. But I didn't because I am an incredibly good person. For now, I will be a terrible dictator. But for now, I'm trying to gaslight all of the masses into thinking I'm a great person so that you follow me. I thought that this would go well. I really did. I thought, you know what? I'll just open up the whole of the cat food bag a little bit wider and dump the food in. And instead, I put a ton of it on the floor. And that really pissed me off. And I couldn't get the lid to close. So after I knocked the rest of it on the floor, I was like, I don't want to sweep. I bet Leroy would really enjoy this moment. So I brought him over, and he like kind of thinks about it. And then he just decides it's an absolute trap, and he's not falling for it. He thinks, and it's not true, but he thinks I'm conspiring with the squirrels that are in our backyard to like bring him to his demise. And so they're in this massive battle. The squirrels know that Leroy can't get outside in time to actually kill them. Leroy hates that they're in our yard because that's clearly his space, and how dare they? And he seems to think that they're conspiring against him and that I am in cahoots with the squirrels. I'm not. I really am not. I am in cahoots with the armadillo against Mark. That's all I want to do. But anyway, so he didn't fall for the cat food trap. And I had to sweep it up like some sort of loser. So yeah, I got my chocolate chips. So the truck dropping off my chocolate chips kept getting delayed, and I wasn't going to go home for like 2 seconds to tag up on base to go back into town. And so I ran to Target and I got a few travel size things, but mostly containers for me to put my shampoo in. I wonder if I should try to do curly hair while I'm in New York. Like, I feel like that would give me like cute boho vibes. Like, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with boho right now. I just am. But I also got like deodorant so that I don't stink when they look at me or smell me. Oh, I hope they don't like actively smell me. I hope it's like a passive, like as I walk by. Okay, here, I really wanted the orange rug to go in my living room. It's just bright. It's such a good pop of color. It makes my couch look really dingy. It's an off-whitish, grayish, it's a grayish couch to begin with. But when you put it up to certain colors like this, it looks better on camera than it does in real life, but it really just makes everything look dingy. Also, it is an absolute death trap. If you put this rug down without the pad underneath it, you will fall and die. That's just all there is to it. But I wanted to try. And so we're putting it back. I'm really proud of myself for picking up the rugs in a reasonable amount of time and putting them back into my house within the same week is pretty unheard of for me. I don't know. I'm just new Bething so hard. Okay, so what was I talking about? Okay, so then I went to Target and I got a few things to kill time. And then I went to Ulta because I wanted to get a travel size of my face wash, even though I just bought go ahead and fill this up with your regular size face wash. But I was like, no, because what I like to do is I put product into those little reusable travel things, and then I just let it sit for 18 months until I'm like, that's disgusting, and I throw it away. It's very wasteful. But I will use up an entire actual travel size face wash. So, okay, this isn't where I want this desk to go. I just want the desk to go somewhere that's not where it currently is. It feels really weird and not a fan. But I'm not like really, really cleaning. I'm not organizing. I'm just scraping the surface so that it's not catastrophic and I just keeping up good habits. I don't have to find out where this desk goes. There's no real actual timeline. I don't have to clean it off apparently because I'm like, oh, it's so heavy. I absolutely should have cleared this off. It I like it when I take the lazy way and the universe is like, shouldn't have been lazy. Like, do a better job. It doesn't go here. I don't want it to go here. And then because I was lazy, everything falls off and I absolutely shatter one of my trays, which bums me out because I have no idea where I purchased this tray to begin with. And now I only have 2 instead of 3, and I used them for my kids. And so I'm just going to pick which kid I hate the most and then take away their tray. They don't get to have it. Probably Sonia. Sonia doesn't deserve a tray. Then she'll have to like Cinderella, and I'll be like, no, you can't go to the ball. And then, oh my God, that means Sammy's going to cut her toe off and birds are going to peck my eyes out. If you go with the traditional version of that fairy tale and not the Disney version. All right. I get that I listened back to the first half of my audio already before I overlaid it because my husband came in and it was like, way to interrupt. And then because I was so rude and mocking, the universe made my video editing software crash. So the first half, I was like, why am I so frantic? I'm talking so fast. I am way too up. And I feel like what it is that I know I'm in a time crunch. And so I was like, maybe if I do my voiceover as fast as possible, then it will be over faster. But no, it's gonna be the same length. It's the length of the video. It's not me sped up. So trying to take a breath, slow it down. So in case you guys got a little bit of anxiety from how quickly I was talking, that happens to me sometimes where if somebody's really rapid, really frantic energy and they're talking, I'm like, like I'm trying to catch my breath on their behalf, which I don't know if that's a thing. Speaking of catching my breath, I did disclose on my live stream that I had on Wednesday that I have started taking drugs to help me. And so I said I wasn't going to take this drug and I decided to. It's just a cute little snort every now and then, as you do. but it's Flonase. I started taking Flonase and it works so well. I'm not nearly as sniffly, sneezy. I've never sneezed before. You guys know that. I don't sneeze, I don't blow my nose. But if I had sneezed or blown my nose at any point in time, I would say that the Flonase has been helping. But man, does it dry out my sinuses. Like it's crazy how dried out. And it turns out I'm very sensitive to like how my nose feels. And it makes me feel like I probably couldn't maintain like a good Coke habit because I just feel like I would be like, oh, my nose doesn't feel great, guys. I don't really want to sniffle this. Although I bet the effect of the cocaine is really good. And so people are like, you know what? I can look past a little nasal discomfort. Just like how meth people are like, I don't mind if I pick through my skin to get the bugs out. I just love meth. I don't know. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see how famous I get and how much it gets to my head. Maybe I will get a really solid Coke habit. I don't know. It definitely has to wait until Mark and I's divorce arc comes to a close. But also I can't have like a really big known drug habit and fight Mark for custody because I am going to fight him because I want the kids so I can get all that child support money. Like I want to ruin his life. And so, okay, I guess, all right. No Coke habit, guys. Let's just wait. It's just inconvenient right now, but we'll see. I'm open to it eventually, but not right now. Not right now. Or maybe when Mark retires. Maybe if Mark retires, we stay married, I turn into a huge cokehead. Then there is one responsible person adulting for the kids. I love that option. Okay, so that's the option, guys. If I need to, we'll just wait until Mark retires. All right. I do this in a really weird order because I still feel like I wanted to I showed you guys. I put that one rug down. I thought it was much larger. In my mind, it was so much bigger. That's what she said. But in reality, not that big. Wasn't impressive. So I packed it back up. That was the one that originally went under my kitchen table, and it looked too small at my kitchen table. I did leave it out in the rain. They washed it. It doesn't smell weird, but you can see a little bit of mildew staining on it. So that might be a bless and release situation. But I was like, okay, I want my other rug to go by the sliding glass door, but I don't want to move the stupid big green chair. And then I was like, okay, but what if I put it in the living room, like, and a different rug goes into in front of the sliding glass door, especially if I have to move the big green chair. That's not happening today. I was really on the fence about laying rugs today anyways. I'm starting to feel pretty pinched for time. But I don't know why. My floor is drying so rapidly. I don't understand it because it's not the heat because it's moist out. My air conditioning's running at normal temp. It just is drying quickly. And so I'm able to put this one down before having to move to my next spot. I think it looks really good. It still makes my couch a little bit dingy looking. I love how big this couch is. I love that it's comfortable after I redid all of the cushioning. I hate the back cushions and I don't like the color of it. Maybe I want a new couch that is this exact size and shape, but built differently. Also, I ripped that tag off of the couch and I hope I don't, not couch, but the rug, but I hope it's not one of the ones that you go to prison for removing. I'm sorry, I'm like really into watching me do this. So it looks good, right? Or does it make my couch look extra dingy? I think it looks good. Nice and bright. If I had more colorful throw pillows, I'd be happier. And for some reason, it did not occur to me on this whole journey of I wish I had better May, June decor in like a corally color. I just have not looked on Amazon. Proud of myself, but I haven't looked on Amazon to try to purchase it. but I could. Maybe I'll do that tonight before I fall asleep. So I had my kids take some of the stuff out. Mary, see, look, that was a brand new cat litter scooper. I did not put a old cat litter scooper on my kitchen islands. I bought it at Petco along with different dog treats and cat treats, and it just hasn't gone upstairs yet. But it's upstairs now. I asked one of the kids to take it upstairs, and I genuinely thought this camera angle, I thought there was more of my kitchen involved. So sorry for the bad angle, but don't tell Google that I'm not a real YouTuber because they'll disinvite me. But guys, I'm not a real YouTuber yet. I'm getting close. I will be, I think, at 50,000 subscribers. That's a real YouTuber. It was 5,000, then it was 10,000. Now that I'm at 36, I feel like 40 is too close, maybe 50. Also, please, if you want, if you feel like it, subscribe. If you want, you can unsubscribe and then resubscribe if you think that would be the funnier option. But I would appreciate it. It makes me feel really good. And anything that feeds my ego helps you get further in the dictatorship. And also like it, because liking it is, we were talking on my live stream. Okay, let's pivot again. We were talking on my live stream about various YouTube-y things. I love discussing like different dig in, this is how YouTube works for me kind of thing. Like, here's how live streams are paid out. This is what ad revenue looks like and all of those things. And we were talking about one of the best ways. It's so weird because YouTubers talk about it all the time. One of the best ways to get the videos, like to help me, it's not watch all the ads all the way through. It's not that. It's actually liking it and then leaving a comment, which is why you see a lot of YouTubers who are like asking you weird things where you're just like, that felt forced, but they're asking a question. Like, tell me, drop your thoughts in the comments below about this. And it's because comments and engagements are really helpful and it pushes it out, even mean comments. So when people are saying mean things to me and you guys are like, wow, Beth, it's hard to take the hate, I'm like, it really helps. So when you guys are like, you're such an absolute crap mom. My mom woke up at 3 a.m. every morning and she stripped and re-shined our floors and I never had dirty clothes and things like that. I'm like, oh, that's amazing because you're helping my channel, not because I like your comments. So there's that. And then the likes really do help. And also, weirdly enough, likes and dislikes, YouTube doesn't care really which way that goes. They're like, I just want you to cause engagement. I want either people to like you so much, they're like, yeah, I'll hit the thumbs up, or dislike you so much, they're like, you know what? I hate you. And then thumbs down. And it's all the same to YouTube. They're like, as long as you are inspiring somebody to interact with your video, we balance it the same. Which is why, okay, so a lot of you people are like, why are people like Nikado Avocado popular? Or Nikado Avocado, for some reason, he is, final result. He is a rage person where they just do things to annoy the living crap out of you because it's just as good as people loving you pays you as much as people hating you, except for people hating you, they feel way more inspired to engage, or so you get a lot more of that. Anyways, final result, that box on the kitchen counter right there, that island, those are those infamous chocolate chips you guys kept talking about the whole time. Even though I was like, could we focus on one plot line? You were like, no, let's talk about 11 other things. I do have dishes in the sink, but it is not a let's do all the whole house. We're just getting things done. And then I wanted to show you guys Sweet Potato because she is the greatest cat of all time. And I love her so much. But look, we did it. I put rugs down. I do have a rug to go over here. Leroy checking for those effing squirrels, ruining our lives. I just don't like the rug that I had there originally. It doesn't feel right for this season. So I don't know what to say about that. But the nest is clean and here's my little cashew beans. And then Leroy comes in because he cannot stand me paying attention to any other animal. So here comes Leroy to ruin everything. But Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I had so much fun. I can't wait till the next video. I actually know what we're doing, so I can't say that part, but yeah, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for being here. I lost track of what I was saying. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.